So just looking at lesson number 5 worksheet, I'm going to talk a little bit about variables again, so you should know a bit about those anyway. I'm going to talk about conditional statements, loops. Now, we've already spoke about definite and indefinite loops, but I'm going to show you an infinite loop, and also lists. And I'm going to start with lists. Okay, I'm going to show you the code for lists that I have at the moment. So this is my current code in Scratch. I'm going to just go to variables over here. I've got a list called Hungry Talk that I've made. I'm just going to check the box and you'll see the list appear. So over here, the list says I'm hungry. It also says, please feed me. I am famished. I want that muffin and food, food, food. So I want to use this randomly. So I want my pet to say one of these things, not always in the same order, when pet hunger is over 80, because pet hunger is currently 1. So when it gets over 80, it will say those randomly. So that's what I'm going to use my list for. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a moment. But what else we've got on the worksheet, I'm going to move down to where it says learn it here. So an infinite loop. An infinite is one that goes on forever. So in Scratch, we use something called a forever loop until the program ends. And I'm going to show you that now, that it's used here, just there. But before I do that, I also want to just speak about the conditional statements. So these are very important programming. They're like branches. So if a condition is true, then one branch is taken. And if a condition is false, the other branch is taken. So for instance, if distance to the shops is less than a mile, then walk. That's one branch. Otherwise, we'll take the bus. So there's 2 options. It depends on the distance. And in Scratch, I've got my code here. You'll see our conditional statements because I've got an if pet hunger is greater than 80. So that's my variable pet hunger, remember. So if my variable pet hunger is greater than 80, then I'm going to run this piece of code. It's going to use the list, the Hungry Talk list. So it's going to pick a number at random from 1 to the length of Hungry Talk, and Hungry Talk is 5 because I've got 5 items. So it's going to pick an item from random from 1 to 5 every 2 seconds, but only if pet hunger is over 80. It won't start that randomness until pet hunger is over 80, and it'll do it for every 2 seconds. Okay, so my conditional statement is this if statement. My infinite loop is the forever loop here, infinite. Okay, the indefinite loops are the repeat until, because they're going to repeat until this condition's met. So this is an infinite loop. It'll keep on checking. And if pet hunger is over 80, then it will run that. So let me just run it and you shall see it happen. So I've also got coded, obviously, I've got a few things coded here. So my cloud, I've got that so to indicate that my pet's had a bit of a sleep. So you'll see pet tiredness moving downwards for that one. Food, I'm not going to do because I want that to go up to 80. My thirst, that's going down and giving him a drink. And happiness, I'm indicating that I'm giving my pet a stroke. I'm calming him down, so his happiness is going up. So the only one that I've not done is pet hunger. Now, when I get to 80, we're hopefully going to see that one of these items in the list will be used. Okay, so it's done. I want that muffin, 2 seconds, and it changes and changes until obviously when we get to 100, or if I get there first, so I'll just feed him in time. So that goes back to over 80, so he's not talking anymore. But then when he gets back to 80 again, obviously he's going to say, please feed me. So I'll just stop that there, go back to my main code for the sprite, for the virtual pet. So yeah, we've got an infinite loop with forever. Don't forget the indefinite loop was the repeat until. And we've got our list that I've created over here as well. And the conditional statement is the if.